What is up, football fans? What is up, Ravens flock? Welcome to the third bowl. I am your host, Devin Welsh, and today is the day. It finally happened. The moment we have been begging for the last 2 years. Greg Roman will no longer be the offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. Let us rejoice and let us sing. Oh. Oh my goodness. I think we all saw this coming. I think we all knew that this was going to happen. But to see that it actually happened, and it happened before the press conference nonetheless, I have a very good feeling for next year. I have a very, very good feeling for next year. But real quick, we have to give credit where credit is due. And with that being said, Greg Roman does deserve credit, right? We have to remember the 2019 Baltimore Ravens and that high-powered offense led by Lamar Jackson and the mastermind behind it all, Greg Roman, right? So I'm going to take a look at some stats real quick. I want to read it off. I'm going to post it up. But let's just take a look, okay? Pass offense, yards per game, 201.6, 27th in the NFL. Rush offense, 206 yards a game, first. Total offense, 407 yards a game, second. NFL.com, the final rank, first. ESPN, final rank, first. CBS Sports, final rank, first. NBC Sports, final rank, first. Sports Illustrated, final rank, first. USA Today, final rank, first. So we have to remember, Greg Roman did some great work while with the Ravens. But as the years went on and as defenses figured out how to contain the Ravens, it seems as if Greg Roman wasn't able to develop that passing game and get our wide receivers more involved, which led the Ravens to rely more heavily on Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews and hoping and praying for success in that way. With the Ravens and Greg Roman deciding to part ways, a lot of the media people decided to get talking, and of course, Emmanuel Acho decided to open his mouth and start talking, per usual, right? He sent out a tweet with the video attached to it. He sent out another video attached to it talking about Greg Roman and the successes he's had over the years with mobile quarterbacks and how he might be the best offensive coordinator for mobile quarterbacks. And that's great, right? I mean, like I said in the last segment, in the last piece, we got to give credit where credit is due. So let's just take a look at his tweet real quick, and then I'm going to get into it, okay? So I'm going to put it up. I'm going to read it real quick. Under Greg Roman, Alex Smith took him to an NFC championship. Colin Kaepernick, they got to the Super Bowl. With Lamar Jackson, of course, we all know, the unanimous MVP in the 2019 season. And he tweets, but sure, let's blame Greg Roman. Who's blaming Greg Roman? Like, what does he mean by blame Greg Roman? What does he mean by that? Right? I think if you were to take a look at Greg Roman over the last 2-3 years, since that 2019 season, his inability to evolve the offensive scheme, the passing scheme, to deceive the opposing defenses. That's something that happens. That's something that offensive coordinators need to be able to work around, right? I think we can all agree to that. That's something offensive coordinators should plan for. Their offenses are going to get known and understood. Defenses are going to figure out ways to stop them. So offensive coordinators devise around that and inject new ideas, inject some fire, and change things up. And it seems like Greg Roman wasn't able to do that. So I decided to respond to Emmanuel Acho's tweet. And here's what I said. I'll post it up right here. Go check me out on Twitter at The Third Bowl if you want to see it. Give me a like, give me a follow. But let's read it real quick. I said, I think it's a reach to say blame Greg Roman when it seems that the relationship organically ran its course. It's time for the Ravens to shake it up, and it's time for Roman to strike gold elsewhere. I also tweeted out something along the lines of, It's time for a change of pace for the Ravens, and it's time for a change of scenery for Greg Roman. I believe that this is a very amicable split, a very amicable breakup, and I sincerely wish nothing but the best for him in his future, right? It was just time for his career with the Ravens to end, right? I think we can all agree, and I'm not one to hold a grudge. I'm not one to have ill feelings or wish bad things upon, people that I don't know to that extent. So let's not go there, right? Let's wish him nothing but the best, health, wealth, happiness, all that good stuff. And let's also be hopeful and excited as we hunt for our new offensive coordinator. So I was scrolling through Twitter earlier today, and I came across this tweet by somebody named Emery Hunt at FBallGamePlan. And this individual tweeted out, I'll post it up right here so you can read it too. This individual tweeted out, "Let me just get this out there before folks start wrongly discussing the Ravens' search for a new offensive coordinator. Lamar Jackson ran a pro-style offense in college." Lamar Jackson retweeted that saying thank you and, put the prayer hands in the tweet as well. So I feel like he's signaling what type of offensive scheme he wants to look for, what type of offensive scheme he wants to plan for. And I think we should be cognizant of that when we're hunting for the new offensive coordinator. I've heard a couple names thrown out there, primarily Frank Reich, the old coach or the ex-head coach of the Colts. That name was getting tossed around by a couple people, most prominently on Twitter, Hoodie Ramey. I think that's how you say it. Hoodie Ramey. Love you, brother. Give me a follow. Give me a like. He keeps talking about Frank Reich. I personally am a fan of Byron Leftwich. I thought he totally turned it around with the Buccaneers the last 2 years. This year, it was a little rough because of the injuries, and I feel like Tom Brady's done. We can talk about that on a different show, whatever. But I'm a fan of Byron Leftwich. I remember watching him play football. It would be awesome for him to be an offensive coordinator for our team. I feel like he'd do good here. Another name I really like is Todd Monken out of Georgia. He's really turned it around with Stetson Bennett last couple years. All right, Ravens flock. So with the departure of Greg Roman, we can cross that off of our offseason to-do list. Next is to extend Lamar Jackson. I still have good feelings about that. I feel like that's going to happen very soon. Next, on top of that, is D-Hop. D-Hop wants to be a Raven. He knows it. We know it. So EDC better make it happen. I have a feeling something big like that might happen. Maybe on a team-friendly deal. Who knows? In EDC we trust. We shall see. We shall see. All right, football fans. All right, Ravens flock. That's going to wrap things up for today. Thank you so much for checking out the Third Bowl. I'm your host, Devin Welsh. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Adios.